of individuals or organization, or who is a prisoner of war for genocide, crimes against humanity, any of the provisions of the constitutions. Crime from the jurisdiction and from the international crime, the elements are: one, an international crimes must have been perpetrated by someone other than the accused. Two, there existed a superior subordinate relationship between the accused and the perpetrator. Three, the accused as a superior knew or had reason to know that the subordinate was about to commit such crimes or had done so. Four, the accused as a superior failed to take an reasonable measure to prevent such crimes or punish the perpetrator. 2 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act provides that any commander or superior officer who orders, permits, acquiesces, or participates in the commission of any of the crimes specified in Section 3 or is connected with any plans and activities involving the commission of such crimes, or who fails or omits to discharge his duty to maintain discipline or to control or supervise the actions of the persons under his command or his subordinates, whereby such persons or subordinates or any of them commit any such crime, who fails to take necessary measures to prevent the commission of such crime is guilty of such crimes. Now, I am going to read the charges. On the point of the jurisdiction of this tribunal raised by the learned State Defense Council, it may be noted that there is no scope in law to raise such question, since question of jurisdiction of the tribunal by Section 24 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. The allegations against the accused, he merely made flat denials thereto without showing anything subsistence contrary to the acts complained of. On the other hand, on perusal of the formal charges and the documents submitted therewith, and also in consideration of the submission of the learned Chief Prosecutor and the learned State Defense Council, it has been made to appear to us that there are sufficient grounds for framing charges against the accused under Section 3, subsection 2, read with Section 4 of the Act. On hearing both sides, 5 charges were framed against accused Sheikh Hasina individually, and separate 5 charges were framed against accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun jointly. But on scrutiny of the documents and examination of the witnesses of the tribunal deems to condign to reshape the charges for ends of justice, and accordingly the same charges framed earlier have been modified in the following manner. Charge number 1. Incitement and order to attack and kill protesting students of Dhaka University and other academic institutions of the country, and also failure to take preventive and punitive measures, and thus killing hundreds and severely injuring thousands of protesters. During July Uprising 2024, commencing on 1st July 2024 and ending on 5th August 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the President of the ruling party of Bangladesh, Awami League, as well as 14th Party Alliance, in a press conference on 14/7/24 at Ganabhavan, made the following derogatory remark. Muktijoddhar natiputira chakri pabe na to ki Rajakarer natiputira chakri pabe? If the grandchildren of freedom fighters should not get job, should the grandchildren of Rajakars get it? Pointing towards the protesters of anti-discrimination student movement while demanding a rational reform of quota system in government job, whereby the left defamed felt defamed and aggrieved since Rajagars are considering as collaborators of occupied Pakistani army during Liberation War of 71. And thereafter, the term has been being used to stigmatize an individual or group of individuals as enemy of the state of the people. Moreover, in a telephonic conversation with ASM Masood Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, Sheikh Hasina, mentioned that she ordered to hang the protesters as the Rajagars have been hanged before. Furthermore, being incited and inspired by the said remark, Cabinet Minister and Awami League Secretary Obaidul Qadir, separately charged, made another provocative, aggressive remark on 15th July of 2024 at saying, Andolon Domine Chhatraligi Joteshto. Chhatraligi is enough to bring the movement under control. And as such, the students, female and male, came down to the streets chanting slogans against herself and her party of government. Meanwhile, her subordinates, including the cabinet members, police and other law enforcing agencies, activists of four-party Awami League and its affiliated and allied organization go to incited and inspired of the aforesaid remarks of you and Obaidul Qadir, and thus they launched widespread and systematic attack within your full knowledge upon the peaceful statement protesters in Dhaka University, causing 297 students injured and many others in different educational institutions throughout the country, including Rangpur Begum Rokeya University, where Abu Said was brutally shot dead by police. By your incitement and order to kill the protesting students who have been injured and killed as the foresight, and also by failure to take preventive and punitive measure against the perpetrators, accused Sheikh Hasina committed the crimes against humanity under Section 3, subsection 2, under Section 4, subsection 1, clause B, and Section 4, clause 3. Subsection 3, read with Section 20A of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. Charge number 2, order to use lethal weapon, drones and helicopters to kill the protesters and execution of the order. During the July uprising 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina held a conversation over telephone with Dr. ASM Masood Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, from Ganabhavan on 14th July 2024 at about 11 p.m., wherein she mentioned that she already ordered to kill the protesters like the Rajagars who have been hanged before. Again on July 18th, Sheikh Hasina conversed over telephone with Sheikh Fazlanur Taposh, the then Mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation, mentioning that she had already given direction to the law enforcement agencies to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill and eliminate the peaceful, unarmed civilian protesters, and also ordered them to use drones to locate the protesters. She also told him that she has orders to arrest and protesters across the country. As a result of above statement, directions, the Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and the Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun successively implemented the directions through their underlings, that is law enforcing agencies, by deploying drones and helicopters in the sky, killing about 1,400 protesters, including women and children, indiscriminately and gravely injuring about 25,000 of them throughout the country by using lethal weapons everywhere from 16th July 2024 and helicopters somewhere from 18 July 2024 up to 5th August 2024, and thereby Sheikh Hasina, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun committed crimes against humanity as a joint criminal enterprise punishable under Section 3, subsection 2, clause A, G, H. section at Chankharpur with the protesters convened a program to be held on 5th August and made a call to the people of all walks throughout the country August 5th. By incitement by abetment and inaction of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and any students and common people, and thereupon under order, supervision and inaction of accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun and the then Dhaka Metropolitan Commissioner DMP Habibur Rahman, Joint Commissioner Shudip Kumar Chakraborty, Additional Deputy Commissioner Shah Alam Muhammad Akhtarul Islam, Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Imrul and Inspector Muhammad Ashad Hussain, who have been separately prosecuted, successively ordered to commit atrocities to the protesters assembled at Chankharpur of Dhaka and supervised the same, and during such atrocities 6 unarmed protesters, namely Shahriyan Khan Anas, Sheikh Mahdi Hassan Junaid alias Mustaqin, Muhammad Yaqub, Muhammad Rakib Hawladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq and Manik Mia alias Shahrik were shot dead by Constable Shujan Hussain, Constable Imaj Hussain and Constable Nasirul Islam, who have been separately prosecuted at Chankharpur as part of widespread and systematic attack. The aforesaid killings took place pursuant to the order of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, within her full knowledge and under order, supervision and within the knowledge of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, and by such killings they committed crimes against humanity as joint criminal enterprise by order, abetment and inaction to prevent and punish the perpetrators under Section 3, subsection 2, read with Tribunal Act 1973.
Now the turn of learned member 1.
It transpires from the prosecution witnesses deposed in corroboration of the facts of incitement and order of accused Sheikh Hasina to deploy drones and helicopters and also to use lethal weapons to kill the protesters. The daily newspapers of Bangladesh also published reports of such incitement and order of Sheikh Hasina. Moreover, the prosecution executed the pendrive CD containing telephonic conversation of Sheikh Hasina with Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.K.M. Maqsood Kamal, Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazlun Taposh, and Hassanul Haq Inu. The concerned device containing the said conversations have been played in the tribunal, and thereupon we find that in the conversation with the Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, accused Sheikh Hasina mentioned that she already ordered to hang the students as Razakars have been hanged. Now I am mentioning the substantial portion from his conversation with, from her conversation with A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, the accused Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University. Sheikh Hasina, তো রাজাকারের তো ফাঁসি দিছি, এবার তাদেরও তাই করব, একটাও ছাড়বো না, আমি বলে দিচ্ছি। শেখ হাসিনা, কোন দেশে বাস করি আমরা? এদেরকে বাড়তে বাড়তে তো রাজাকার অবস্থা হয়েছে, দেখিস নাই? সবগুলোকে ফাঁসি দিছি, এবার তোদেরও ছাড়বো না। শেখ হাসিনা, সব এইগুলাকে বাইর করে দিতে হবে, আমি বলে দিছি, আজকে সহ্য করার পরে অ্যারেস্ট করবে, ধরে নেবে এবং যা অ্যাকশন নেওয়ার নেবে। Then it also appears from the conversation with Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazlun Taposh, accused Sheikh Hasina told him that she ordered to kill the protesting students by using helicopters and lethal weapons. The substantial portion of the conversation is শেখ হাসিনা দরকার নাই, ওটা দরকার নাই। আমি সেনাপ্রধানের সাথে কথা বলেছি, ওরা রেডি থাকবে, ঠিক আছে। এখন তো আমরা অন্য করতেছি, ড্রোন দিয়ে ছবি নিচ্ছি আর হেলিকপ্টারে হচ্ছে মানে কয়েক জায়গায় তাপস। তাহলে ওই কিছু ছবি দেখে পাকড়াও করা যায় না তাদের রাতের মধ্যে? শেখ হাসিনা সবদিকে অ্যারেস্ট করতে বলেছি মাত্র রাত্রে। তাপস হ্যাঁ, পাকড়াও করলে ওদেরকে। শেখ হাসিনা না, ওটা বলা হয়ে গেছে, ওটা নিয়ে র্যাব, ডিএফআই, এনএসআই সবাইকে বলা হয়েছে যে যেখান থেকে যে কয়টা পারবা ধরে পেল। তাপস জি। শেখ হাসিনা ওটা বলা আছে। আর এখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে, আর যেখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে সেখানে ওই উপর থেকে এখন উপর হয়েছে কয়েকটা জায়গায়। তাপস জি। আমার নির্দেশনা দেওয়া আছে, ওপেন নির্দেশনা দিয়ে দিছি। এখন লেথাল উইপন ব্যবহার করবে, যেখানে পাবে সোজা গুলি করবে। তাপস জি জি। শেখ হাসিনা না পোড়াইয়া দিছে, মেশিন পত্র সব পুড়ে গেছে। আমি বলছি যা পোড়াতে, ও আমাদের সেতু ভবন পোড়াইছে। তারপর জি, ওরা রাতে মনে হয় আরো ব্যাপক আক্রমণ করবে। In the conversation with the Hassanul Haq Inu, accused Sheikh Hasina mention of bombing upon the protesters from the helicopter. The substantial portion, relevant portion from the conversation. Sheikh Hasina না, আমি বলছি ক্যাজুয়ালিটির দরকার নাই, ওরা ব্যারিকেড নিয়ে আছে তো ঠিক আছে, আকাশ থেকে নামবে, তখন দুই পাশ দিয়ে ধরবে। মেসেজটা দিয়ে দিতে পারেন যে সেনা পাঠানো হচ্ছে আর হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে সোজা বম্বিং করা হবে, র্যাবের হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে উপর দিয়ে মারবে। হাসানুল হক ইনু, আপনি এই জামাত শিবিরের মেরুদণ্ডতা আবার ভেঙে দেন ঢাকা শহরে। শেখ হাসিনা একেবারে। শেখ হাসিনা হ্যালো। হাসানুল হক ইনু হ্যালো জি, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি ইনু বলছিলাম। হ্যালো। শেখ হাসিনা হ্যাঁ বলেন। আচ্ছা, আমি এটা স্ক্রলে দিয়ে দিতে বলছি যে তোমরা ছাত্ররা সব ঘরে ফেরো, গার্ডিয়ানদেরকে বলছি এইখানে কিন্তু জঙ্গি হামলা হয়েছে। হাসানুল হক ইনু হ্যাঁ, এটা রাইট। শেখ হাসিনা না, এটা আমাকে বেশ কিছু আন্তর্জাতিক পাইছি, তারা এটাকে জঙ্গি হামলা হিসাবে কনসিডার মানে বলতেছে। হাসানুল হক ইনু হ্যাঁ, জঙ্গি হামলাই হয়েছে, এই কার্ডটা খেলবো আমরা এখন। শেখ হাসিনা না, কার্ড খেলা না, এটা আমি আগে করি নাই, কিন্তু আমাকে আন্তর্জাতিক সংস্থা থেকে মেসেজটা দিচ্ছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা। হাসানুল হক ইনু জঙ্গি সন্ত্রাসের মোকাবিলা করছে এখন সরকার। শেখ হাসিনা তারা আমাকে এটাই বলছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা, দিয়ে দিব পেপারে। International and national organizations. United Nations Human Rights Office held an investigation into July-August 2024 atrocities in Bangladesh and mentioned in its report that the following inhuman and unlawful acts were committed by protesters during the movement, and reported as follows. Based on direct testimony from senior officials involved and other inside sources, OHCHR was able to establish that the integrated and systematic effort using the entire range of police, paramilitary, military and intelligence actors, as well as violent elements linked to the Awami League to commit serious violations and abuses occurred with the full knowledge, coordination and direction of the political leadership. The then Prime Minister and Home Affairs Minister led parallel efforts to coordinate the security and intelligence apparatus. Both received regular reports on the situation on the ground from multiple sources. According to senior official testimony, reports provided to the Prime Minister by senior officers on 21 July and in early August specifically conveyed concern about excessive use of force. Both political leaders and the leadership of Bangladesh Police and the Army also carried out site visits that would have provided them direct personal knowledge of violations that had taken place or were ongoing. Furthermore, the political leadership issued direct orders and other directives authorizing and guiding operations by BGB, RAB, DGRI, the Bangladesh Police and its detective branch that involved serious violations of human rights against protesters and other civilians, including extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detention. Based on reported deaths complied by governmental and non-governmental sources in combination with other available evidence, OHCHR assesses that as many as 1,400 people could have been killed during the protest. The vast majority of whom were by military rifles and shotguns loaded with lethal metal pellets commonly used by Bangladesh's security forces. Thousands more suffered severe, often life-altering injuries. More than 11,700 people are arrested and detained, according to the information from the police and RAB provided to OHCHR. Government attempted to intimidate and delegitimate the student protest movement, mobilize of Chhatra League, police and paramilitary forces, materialize of policing in Bangladesh, incited violence by armed Awami League and activists on and around university premises, conducted coordinated attacks by armed Awami League supporters and the police, use of force violations by police, RAB and BGB, including extrajudicial killing, like killing Abu Said of Begum Ruqayya University, Rangpur, 16 July. Made systematic, indiscriminate use of shotguns loaded with lethal ammunition, suppressed peaceful assembly at Dhaka University on 17 July. Police, RAB and BGB extrajudicially killed protesters in Uttara on 18 July. Disproportionate and indiscriminate use of firearms in response to violent unrest, indiscriminately shooting in Rampura and Badda by BGP and police on July 19. Violently cleared the Dhaka-Chattogram highway in Jatrabari on between 16 to 21 July. Extrajudicial killings to suppress the march to Dhaka on August 5 involved the army who shot at protesters at Jamuna Future Park on 5 August 2024. Used helicopter to intimidate and deploy possibly unlawful force, also medical care and denied necessary medical document, obstructed medical treatment of victim Sheikh Asabul Yamin, shot by police, caused mass arbitrary arrest, detention without due process and torture and ill treatment, caused block raids and mass arrests, including injured persons. Students and opposition leaders attacked journalists, children and women and caused unjustified shutdown of internet. In the said report, Mr. Volker Turk, the High Commissioner of Human Rights Office of that the atrocities committed in July Revolution 2020 in Bangladesh was preconcerted and systematic in order to remaining in power. There are cogent grounds to believe that hundreds of extrajudicial killings, arrests, detention and torture were carried out by the and the highest law enforcing authorities within their knowledge and direction and supervision as strategy to support, whereby human rights have been seriously violated and thus international crimes have been committed. He also observed that the evidence